In Lockwood Manor, on the first floor, there's a diorama of a 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 in the savannah saving its egg from a flock of 𝓼𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. 𝓼𝓱𝓪 was the background image painted in the diorama. Genetic material of the 𝓼𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 was also used in the Indominus Rex. In the early 1990s, InGen had completed 12% of the Allosaurus genome for exhibition in the original Jurassic Park on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, but this completion of its DNA sequencing had to be put on hold due to InGen's financial trouble. The sequencing of its DNA would eventually be finished by the time that Jurassic World opened up to the public. Ankylosaurus originally had 91% of its genome mapped before Hurricane Clarissa struck the island. Ankylosaurus was then successfully recreated illegally by InGen in the Embryonics Administration Lab on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓰 in secret after the acquisition of InGen by Masrani Global Corporation and after the passing of the Gene Guard Act. InGen eventually used Ankylosaurus for Masrani Global Corporation's new dinosaur zoo, Jurassic World, on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. These specimens were 1.1 meters longer than those originally bred on Sorna, as well as featuring a different tail club and different spike orientations. According to information from the Dinosaur Protection Group, Apatosaurus was originally supposed to be an attraction for Jurassic Park on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 with over 57% of its genome being completed by 1993. Sadly, this was put on hold after the disastrous 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 incident. Apatosaurus was eventually recreated by InGen for the Masrani Global Corporation's Jurassic World. By 2022, Biosin Genetics had bred at least 4 Atrociraptors, possibly from modified velociraptor DNA from 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, as trained hunting animals bred for speed. Ajax is mentioned in the Jurassic World Dinosaur Field Guide as being an enemy to the 𝓼𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, another 𝓼𝓱𝓪𝓷 theropod. Part of the genome of the Ajax was also used in the Indominus Rex. InGen created 5 baryonyx in the InGen compound in 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼. It was planned to live in its own paddock for Phase 1 of Jurassic Park, but never made it to 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼𝓼. Around 2015, InGen recreated this dinosaur for Masrani Global Corporation's Jurassic World. Brachiosaurus is the only dinosaur to be given a possible maximum age. The encyclopedia included with the DVD of the first film puts their age at a maximum of 200 years. The Brachiosaurus also has 3 different versions that were bred, all by InGen. One was from 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 and the other 2 from 𝓲𝓪𝓷, although the second variation for the 𝓲𝓷 Brachiosaurus could simply be a male, but we don't know for sure. Two Carnotaurus were recreated for the original Jurassic Park, but they were never transferred to 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼. It is unknown what happened to them after Hurricane Clarissa struck 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷. Genetic material of Carnotaurus was also used in 2014 in the creation of the Indominus and Scorpios Rex. Despite not being originally planned for the park, a population of Ceratosaurus was held on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 and later 𝓲𝓷 for Jurassic World. The Ceratosaurus on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 had 2 different colors, the first of which corresponded to the Ceratosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, while the second was a monotone gray. The 𝓀𝓪𝓚 was a small carnivorous theropod that was hatched by InGen sometime between 2005 and 2015, on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 with the intent to eventually exhibit it in the Jurassic World theme park, but currently there's no evidence that any ever made it to display. Compsognathus was created by InGen inside their compound on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 where the juveniles were taken care of by the workers there. They were not planned for Jurassic Park on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼, but after the 1993 incident InGen reported that there was a population of 28 individuals on the island. It suggested that they managed to reach the island via hiding on InGen cargo vessels between 𝓲𝓷 and Site B. While Concavenator doesn't physically appear in any of the movies, a taxidermy statue of the animal appears in Lockwood Manor, indicating that this creature was probably cloned by InGen for the original Jurassic Park, despite missing from InGen's list. Corythosaurus originally had 97% of its genome mapped before the 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 incident struck the island. It later was then successfully recreated illegally by InGen in the Embryonics Administration Lab on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓰 in secret after the acquisition of InGen by Masrani Global Corporation and after the passing of the Gene Guard Act, alongside other dinosaurs. Deinosuchus was recreated as an attraction for Jurassic World and was a species listed on the holoscape, although it is unknown if it was on display or not. A tooth of a Deinosuchus was also seen in Ken Wheatley's teeth bag, telling us that the species was saved and probably sold off in the Lockwood Manor auction. The Deinosuchus was also known to have a fully feathered body and non-pronated wrists according to the Dinosaur Protection Group, something rare for a dinosaur in Jurassic World, but there were another 2 versions of this animal, both not feathered, One was featured in the Holoscape and the other was supposed to appear in Jurassic World Dominion but was later replaced by the 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. Deinosuchus was a giant relative of the alligator that lived in North America during the Cretaceous period. Part of the genetic makeup of the Deinosuchus was also used for the Indominus rex, giving it its jaw and tooth structure. 17 Dilophosaurus were recreated by InGen in their compound on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 where they were raised by the workers there until a few months had passed, where 5 were transported to the neighboring island of 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 for InGen's Jurassic Park. The Dilophosaurus clones could spit venom at a range of 6 meters or 20 feet and would aim for their prey's face to stun it before the Dilophosaurus would come in for the kill. It is rumored that the abnormal traits of the Dilophosaurus were adopted from the spitting cobra and neck-frilled lizard. Currently there are 2 variations of the Dimetrodon. One was created by InGen and appeared in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in the form of a taxidermy statue in Lockwood Manor, and the second one was created by Biosyn Genetics sometime before 2022 and was featured in Jurassic World Dominion. Dimorphodon was originally planned to be an attraction for the original Jurassic Park, with 36% of its genome being completed before it was put on hold. The pterosaur was recreated by InGen for the Masrani Global Corporation-owned Dinosaur Park Jurassic World. Though no living animals of this species make an appearance in the films, 2 statue juvenile Diplodocus appear in front of a painting of a herd of adult Diplodocus in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 itself doesn't appear in the movies, although it appears as a taxidermy carrying an egg in its beak in the Lockwood Manor in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Dreadnoughtus is one of the animals on the Innovation Center's holographic globe. The embryo of a Dreadnoughtus was sold at the Lockwood Manor auction, and is seen being loaded onto a plane within a briefcase along with other embryos. Dreadnoughtus were cloned sometime before 2022 by Biosyn and resided in the Biosyn Sanctuary located in the Dolomites Mountains, Italy. The clone's appearance was somewhat similar to their genetic template and original InGen counterpart, possessing a typical sauropod's bulky stature and thick elongated neck.
Apatosaurus was created on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 for the original park. 4 of them were on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 and released into the wild when Hurricane Clarissa struck the island. It is unknown what happened to these individuals, as none were seen during the 1997 incident on Sorna. Apatosaurus was brought back by InGen for Masrani Global Corporation's new dinosaur park Jurassic World. Apatosaurus later went under cruelty and then fell back into extinction after the 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 incident of 2015 by unknown cause.
A silhouette of 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 is shown on the Holoscape screen in the Innovation Center of Jurassic World, though it is currently unknown if any reside within the park itself.
𝓀𝓪𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 had 9% of its total genome completed during construction of the original park, implying that it was planned to be an attraction sometime in the future. It is known that 𝓀𝓪𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴 was subject to cruelty at some time in the past, although it is unknown if there are any surviving populations remaining.
44 Gallimimus were successfully recreated by InGen in the lab on 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, where they were parented and fed in captivity on the island before being transported to 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 for Jurassic Park. Gallimimus was one of the many dinosaurs that was recreated for Masrani Global Corporation's Jurassic World. They retained many characteristics of the previous clones, albeit being a foot taller and having teeth. 𝔀𝓪𝓽𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰 is a disputed species, with some citing the first pteranodon variant being 𝔀𝓪𝓽𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰, but genetic tests have not been carried out as of yet. Others cite it as a separate animal InGen cloned, but has not been confirmed by InGen. Numerous giant lampreys could be seen being served as food in the Amber Clave night market in Malta. In prehistoric times during Jurassic World Dominion, a species of giant locust can be seen sitting on the leg of a sauropod. This species of Cretaceous locust is larger than any prehistoric locust found in the fossil record. In addition to being a fictional species, 65 million years later, its DNA would be used by Biosyn to create hybrid locusts. Genetic material of Giganotosaurus was in possession of InGen by the year 2014 and was used in the creation of the genetic hybrid Indominus rex. At least a single Giganotosaurus was among the dinosaurs cloned by Biosyn and kept within their valley. At some point, the Giganotosaurus had a chip inserted into its brain, allowing it to be controlled when needed. During the 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 incident in 1997, an info sheet of Hadrosaurus can be seen, but no other information about this species is disclosed either in the InGen list or by the Dinosaur Protection Group, so the state of possible activity of the species on any island is unknown. Hadrosaurus can also be seen on the Holoscape screen in the Innovation Center of Jurassic World, though it is currently unknown if any reside within the park itself. At least 4 𝓬𝓪𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 were created by InGen inside their compound on Isla Sorna and shipped to Isla Nublar where they lived in their own paddock, but the animal was never seen on screen. This population went extinct between the 1993 incident and the 1994 cleanup. InGen did however save 60% of its genome. Apatosaurus appears on the holoscape in the Innovation Center, however it is not known if it lived in Jurassic World. Iguanodon appears in Jurassic World Dominion where it is created by Biosyn in 2022. Some specimens are first seen drinking in a river with Parasaurolophus and Triceratops.
The Indominus rex had spiky osteoderms across its body and horns above its eye orbits, traits that originated from the DNA of various abelisaurs used in its creation. It also had well-developed forelimbs from 𝓬𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 complete with opposable thumbs whose origins are unknown. The teeth of the Indominus were from Deinosuchus DNA, explaining why they are exposed like a crocodile's. Its large size is attributed to 𝔀𝓪𝓽𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰. Interestingly, the Indominus rex could reach 50 feet or 15 meters in length as an adult when none of the theropods used in its creation could reach its length. The tree frog DNA, which was intended to help the animal adapt to the climate of Isla Nublar, had allowed it to remove its own thermal signature. The hybrid could also detect the thermal signatures of other creatures as well due to pit adder DNA. The snake DNA may also be the reason to why the Indominus could open its jaws wider than any other of InGen's cloned theropods. DNA from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 used in the creation of the Indominus rex gave it a high level of intelligence as well as the ability to communicate with 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 individuals. The overall genome of the Indominus rex consisted of Abelisaurus, Ajax, Carnotaurus, Deinosuchus, 𝓀𝓪𝓽𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰, Majungasaurus, Pycnonymosaurus, 𝓀𝓪𝓽𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰, Tyrannosaurus, 𝓬𝓚𝓚saurus, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓚, 𝔑𝑣𝑖𝑛ator, cuttlefish, giving it the ability to camouflage, pit adder as well as tree frog DNA.
The Indoraptor was created in a hidden laboratory in the Lockwood Manor by Dr. Henry Wu. He was a prototype as Wu was waiting to obtain Blue's blood to finalize the genome of the creature, and breed a more streamlined version of him. He was created as a weapon and was shown to attack on command through visual and audio frequency, which drove him into a frenzied state. It's unclear whether the Indoraptor is a simple cross between an Indominus rex and a velociraptor, or whether it is a new design that lacks some of the Indominus rex's contributing DNA sources with additional velociraptor DNA. But we do know that some of the Indominus characteristics are not present in the Indoraptor, like its ability to regulate its temperature and cloak. 𝓀𝓪𝓚𝓚𝓚 was cloned sometime during or before 2016 on a secret island owned by Manta Corp by Dr. May Turner, a paleoneurobiologist that named the stegosaur Pierce. 𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚 is briefly seen on the holoscape screen in the Innovation Center of Jurassic World. However, it wasn't in any attraction and it's unknown if it was planned to be exhibited. Within the Amber Clave Night Market, a 𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚 named Leonard was owned by Kayla Watts and kept within a cage she sat beside. Kayla later sold the 𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚𝓚 to a man named Wiggy to be used within the market's fighting pit. During the Isla Sorna incident in 1997 an info sheet of Maiasaura can be seen, but no other information about this species is disclosed either in the InGen list or by the Dinosaur Protection Group, so the state of possible activity of the species on any island is unknown. Genetic material of Majungasaurus was in possession of InGen by 2014 and was used in the genetic hybrid Indominus rex in Jurassic World. This explains the Indominus prominent scale orientation. 4 Mamenchisaurus were created by InGen scientists in their compound on Isla Sorna where they were taken care of by the workers there. These clones had erect necks, and lacked the tail club and hump the originals had. Metracanthosaurus was a planned attraction for Jurassic Park, but only had 71% of its genome complete before Denis Nedry turned of the power and inadvertently caused the Isla Nublar incident in 1993. InGen successfully recreated Metracanthosaurus for Masrani Global Corporation's Jurassic World. By 1986, at least one Microceratops was created on Isla Sorna for the original Jurassic Park on Isla Nublar. This Microceratops had an oversized head, with an upward-oriented frill and eyes further up the skull than its fossil counterpart. Microceratops was successfully recreated by InGen for Masrani Global Corporation's new dinosaur park, Jurassic World. Monolophosaurus was one of the dinosaurs cloned for Jurassic World with gray, yellow and green variants. Like all of InGen's theropods, they had pronated wrists. The clones also seem to have a thin stretch of skin crossing their nostrils, giving it the appearance of having 2 pairs of nose holes. 5 Mononychus appear as a taxidermy in the Lockwood Manor in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. They are green, with red legs and throat pouches. They possess black and white quills on their arms and the end of their tail. Moros were recreated by Biosyn at some point prior to 2022. The Moros are smaller than the real animal at about the size of ducks. The Mosasaurus was successfully recreated by InGen under the ownership of the Masrani Global Corporation for their new dinosaur park Jurassic World. One Mosasaurus was cloned for Jurassic World. It lived in the lagoon on Main Street and its feeding show was a very popular attraction. The 𝓀𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 clones are similar to their real-life counterparts, with the only differences being shrink-wrapped frill holes, sharper frill horns, semi-elephant-like feet, and oversized bodies. Males are larger than females and have longer thicker horns, a taller and slimmer frill and sharper nose armor. Nippanosaurus is seen on the holoscape screen in the Innovation Center of Jurassic World. Though it is currently unknown if any reside within the park itself. It could possibly appear in future Jurassic Park films and if so, it will be the first Japanese dinosaur to appear. A 𝓀𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 was one of the animals kept at Manta Corp Island, where it was held within the water treatment facility of the island. The 𝓀𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 alongside the newer yellow-green 𝓀𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, Smilodon, Kentrosaurus and Spinoceratops was confirmed to have been cloned by Manta Corp. Ouranosaurus was one of the dinosaurs bred by InGen on Isla Nublar for Jurassic World. Ouranosaurus was originally supposed to appear in the riverside scene for Jurassic Park 3 but it was cut from the film. An oviraptor was among the animals kept within the Amber Clave night market for their pit fights. This individual was pitted against a 𝓀𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, whom decapitated the dinosaur with its jaws just as the fight began. 9 Pachycephalosaurus were created by InGen inside their compound on Isla Sorna where they were taken care of by the workers there at a young age. There were also surviving Pachycephalosaurus populations on Isla Nublar. The surrounding foothills of Mount Sibo were the favored territory of the animal, which was at the top of the critical exposure list. When the dinosaurs were released, a few Pachycephalosaurus are heard in the background. It is possible that a few were saved from extinction. According to information from the Dinosaur Protection Group, Pachyrhinosaurus was on InGen's list and was planned to be an attraction for Jurassic Park, with 8% of its genome being completed, but this never came to pass due to InGen's financial troubles. The ceratopsian was eventually recreated by the Masrani Global Corporation for use in Jurassic World. While the Pachyrhinosaurus exact species is unknown, the animal appears to have characteristics from both Pachyrhinosaurus canadensis and Pachyrhinosaurus lacusti, possibly being a hybrid of the two, although that's just speculation.
Parasaurolophus 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, the smallest of the bunch, was first featured in Jurassic World Dominion, inhabiting Penang Island, Malaysia, Panguitch Lake Resort, Utah, and being the only species of Parasaurolophus to never reach Isla Nublar or Sorna but instead was likely created in the mainland, either by Biosyn or in the busted illegal Parasaurolophus breeding operation in Finsbury Park in London, England. During the events of 2022, several of these hadrosaurs were captured and transferred to the Biosyn sanctuary to be studied.
A different version of the Parasaurolophus 𝓲𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 was created much earlier by InGen for Jurassic World and appeared in the Jurassic World exhibition. InGen bred Parasaurolophus tubicen, the largest Parasaurolophus species of Jurassic World, sometime by 2014. Since its image on the Jurassic World website was an illustration rather than a 3D render, it is believed that none of these new parasaurs had reached maturity by late 2015. None have ever been seen, so it is possible that they have died out. InGen originally bred Parasaurolophus on Isla Sorna, most likely in the embryonics building. The date at which they were first cloned is unknown, but the earliest possible date is 1986. As they neared maturity, InGen would determine whether they were suitable for Jurassic Park. The animals that were deemed worthy were shipped to Isla Nublar. At least 15 female parasaurs were chosen for this purpose. The remaining 13 would be able to roam the island freely after Hurricane Clarissa forced InGen to evacuate completely 2 years later. Throughout 2004, any surviving parasaurs on Isla Sorna were rounded up by InGen and brought to Isla Nublar, where they stayed a short while in a quarantine pen before being introduced to the valley. These variants of Parasaurolophus have bioluminescent genes from marine lifeforms incorporated into their DNA, allowing them to produce their own light and glow in the dark to be one of the many dinosaurs that lived as an attraction for Masrani Global Corporation's Jurassic World. At some point, Pelluroplites was cloned for Jurassic World on Isla Nublar, but after the park fell, at least one individual had died and decomposed into a skeletal carcass, confirming that probably at least some individuals were somewhere at the park. A skeleton of the species was also on display at the Lockwood Manor, where it was smashed by the Indoraptor in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.